Ladies and gentlemen, it is October 2025. That means there is less than 3 months left before 2026 comes around. Now, if you're being completely honest with yourself, you definitely thought that this was the year where everything changes for you. This was the year where all your goals came true. And yeah, for sure, you've made some progress, but deep down, you know that you could have done a little better. Or perhaps you could have done way more. And we all wish we were disciplined. We all wish we were a little bit more consistent. But the fact of the matter is, without accountability and the right systems, habits just won't stick. And when there is no one there to notice, it's easy to slip up, to fall off, to get back into old habits again and again. Now, in this video, I'm going to be revealing 4 fundamental secrets that I'm going to personally use for the next 3 months to stay locked in, consistent, and focused for the next 3 months of the year. So, without further ado, let's go. Part 1: Procrastination. Procrastination is the absence of consequence. No, this is not just another video on procrastination. It's expected for you to see the consequences of not doing something. I'll let you hear this thing once again. You don't need a perfect day or even a perfect week. You just need a few good days a couple of times a week. The research has few things to say about procrastination, one of which is striving for perfection. And when you obsess over perfection, more than often, you barely scratch average. Perfection is the enemy of great. With this baseline being set, all good things take time. And the longer you wait before taking action towards your goals, the more you're pushing your dreams, your results, and your success further into the future. Another reason why one might procrastinate is a lack of consequence, or at least immediate consequence. The general prognosis for procrastination is that it doesn't lead to anything too bad, so you might as well do it. And that's partially true if you really think about it. But one thing that you have to understand is that consequences, they don't come right now, but they do come. It's always built in, implicit in its existence, if you really think about it. And the consequences of procrastinations are pretty big. It's the wave you didn't see coming. They just build up, they build up, they build up. And then in 2 to 3 years, the consequences keep stacking until you're left with the big burden of knowing that all this time has passed without changing who you were, without making changes towards who you want to become. Consequences just take time to realize, and usually when you do realize it, it's often too late. Another solid reason for procrastination is the lack of clarity. You're shooting in the dark and expecting to hit bullseye. I mean, you gotta be a little more fair to yourself, don't you think? Now, if you had the clarity, you're going to be able to execute with intention. Now, most of the time, whatever you do, there will be an element of unknown, a skepticism. It's always going to be a gray area, believe me. It's always going to be the unknown. The task ahead of you is going to be super intimidating, scary, and it's almost like everything is telling you not to do the task even though you should. This is where breaking down the task, or perhaps having a clear goal, makes things a lot easier. A clear and precise goal is an achievable goal, and when you've broken down that clear goal, you're pretty much hitting the sweet spot at this point. Now, breaking things down is perfect because it creates the one thing we lack, which is clarity. When you break things down, when you assess your tasks and analyze what you have to do, it makes it easy to move, primarily because it's a small step forward. Bite-sized goal setting isn't a joke, trust me. We've seen reasons for procrastination. Now, it's time to scope in just a little bit more. But before we do that, I want to say this again. Procrastination is the absence of consequence. You might not see these consequences immediately, but they do sit in your mind, in the background, ready to flood you when you least expect it. Bringing us to part 2 of this video. Part 2, work-life balance debunked. Now, consistency doesn't come from discipline. It doesn't come from motivation. Consistency is a natural side effect of obsession, of being obsessed, of wanting more, of wanting to become better and achieve your goals. You see, whatever it is that you want to succeed at, you need to be obsessed. You need to develop a fire that is burning within you, that drives you to take action every single day. You need to be thinking about it when you wake up in the morning and when you go to sleep at night, and even in your dreams. You need to dream about it, you need to read about it, you need to talk about it, you need to study about it, and you need to become obsessed. Because here's the truth. The truth is, when you're obsessed, you don't have to force yourself to show up. You don't need that extra willpower or discipline. Things just happen automatically. Things just happen and work out in your favor. You just start taking action, just find yourself already working towards the person you know you want to become. Because with obsession, you just cannot show up. Because if you don't show up, it just eats you from within. It just eats up at you and you just can't stand the feeling of lying to yourself. That's just basically it. So you've probably heard of this commonplace advice of living a balanced life. But I'm here to tell you otherwise. And anyone who's kicking through life will also ask you to forget balance. If you want to become great, if you want to achieve greatness and stop being average like everybody else, and the truth is, you don't need balance. Balance is the last thing you need. You need to lock in, you need that consistency. You need to go above and beyond for your goals and your dreams. So forget trying to be good at 10 different things and instead just focus on 1 to 3 things in your life that you want to be legendary at. No, I'm not talking about average. I'm not talking about mediocre. I'm talking about the Gordon Ramsay of cooking equivalent, if you know what I mean. Pick 3 things and go all in. Here's a bitter pill to swallow. When you care about everything, you really care about nothing. If you care about a select few things and you have your energy, attention, your emotions, and your awareness towards that one thing, towards that tunnel vision of a goal that you have, you're doing at most justice to yourself. This is you gifting yourself the person you want to become. So this is me telling you, the messenger if you will, pick 1 or 2 things in your life and rewire your identity around these things. The same way that LeBron James lives basketball, the same way that Steve Jobs lived to bring computer to your pockets, or Elon Musk determined to make life on Mars possible. I want you to pick 1 or 2 things and make it your identity. Personally, for me, one of those things is YouTubing. This is exactly what I'm doing right now. I'm trying to show up even when it's not the most convenient. And here's a better advice. You can't have doubts at all. Not even 1% doubt. Even 1% doubt is going to ruin your life because doubt is definitely poison. The truth is either you're all in or you're all out. There's no in between. And that's your call to make. Seriously, read the book by Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich. It will help you change with the mindset. Bringing us to the 3rd chapter to seal the deal. Don't quit on me yet. You need to hear what I have to say. You need to hear this again. Stop consuming more content. There, I've said it. We've blazed through 10 months of the year already, and I'm absolutely sure, we've consumed more than enough content on how to move the needle. Countless videos watched, countless videos added to your watch later, countless videos opened and numerous tabs on your computer. I think it rings a bell, right? So enough, you've consumed more than what you need to. I heard this quote or phrase, a line if you will, right? From a fellow YouTuber, Dan. I think it was beautiful and you need to listen to the same today. Preparing to do the thing isn't doing the thing. Writing a banger tweet about how you're going to do the thing isn't doing the thing. Hating on the obstacles in the way of doing the thing isn't doing the thing. Reading about how to do the thing isn't doing the thing. The only thing that is doing the thing is actually doing the thing. I'm not so sure about you, but it sure got to me. So here's the deal. The world we live in is designed to get you distracted and consumeristic. As a result, the world quickly aligns to have 2 kinds of people. Those who decide to move the needle and become producers, and those who continue to consume through the remainder of the year. And be rest assured, only one kind is getting out on top of it. Now, before you click out and get me wrong, here's the deal. It's only human, it's only natural to seg you from being a creator to a consumer and vice versa. Absolutely. I'm with you on this. But there honestly comes a time when you do need to jump ships, and now is your time. The last 3 months of the year, get yourself locked in. Trust me, you've consumed more than you absolutely need to. You know it all. Just go do the things you set out to do. Period. I would even take it a step further. I would say be a very picky consumer. Only consume to produce, as I like to call it. This is not just me saying it. Countless books and research talk about concentrated deep work sessions, or sprints as many people now like calling it. Sessions that are enough to still get your accomplishments in for the year. Now, you could try doing a few things to help you consume less for the remainder of the year. Turn off notifications from your most used apps. That's a start. What you don't see and hear, you more than likely won't consume. Out of sight, out of mind, right? Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying do this for the rest of your life and live under a rock. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying do this for 90 days. Actually, now less than 90 days, if you think about it. That's all. That's all I'm asking you to do. I'm not sure about you, but this is what I'm going to be doing. Trust me, you're not going to miss out on anything. The next thing, I'm not going to ask you for much, but here's what I want you to do. I want you to acknowledge your weaknesses, your tendencies, your impulses, the ones that you give into, before we can move forward with this conversation. Once you recognize and acknowledge them, the battle is half won. Now either prepare for them, or if it's too hard to give up, plan for accommodating that behavior for a few hours in your day. That way, you have time to give into those impulses. Circling up to creating plans and systems. Trust me, just trust me on this. You're not getting to finish line relying on motivation from this or any other video you watch. These merely help give you perspective and actionable pointers. You turning off notifications and anticipating distractions is partly you creating systems and a plan. Carry that momentum forward. That's all I'm asking you to do. Without overcomplicating, take a piece of paper closest to you and put that pen to paper. Define the 1 or 2 things that you wish to get done by the end of the year. Not 5, not 10, just 1 or 2. Icarus, right? You don't want to be flying too high. Now, keep this paper with you at all times, or keep it at your side at all times. See it, imbibe it, breathe it. That's what you want to be doing. The simpler and clearer your goals are, the easier it is to build tunnel vision to your destination. The steps become more clearer. Now, if you're wondering why I'm talking about all this, it's very simple. You need to justify your sacrifice, correct? Why give up on being a consumer? If I were you, I would ask that question. the sheet of paper in front of you, that is your reason. That's why you want to give up. Now, I want you to work your way forward. Bringing us to part 4 on systems. Your systems will carry you to your finish line. We spoke about obsession, and obsession gets you moving. But obsession without systems is actually chaotic. It's like a monkey with a machine gun. Eventually, if you don't have the right systems, obsession is going to lead to burnouts. And everybody who's experienced lasting success knows for a fact that you need a working system in place. Systems are the routines, the structures and processes that make success automatic. They're habits you design so even on your worst days, you're still able to move forward. For example, if you want to get fit, don't rely on motivation. You will fail miserably. However, I want you to rely on systems. Build a system for yourself. Trust me, we engineers rely on systems all the time, without which it's chaos in a handbasket. Let's say you want to get fit over the next few months. Let's say that's your goal. The next 90 days, trying to get yourself into good shape. Prepare a training routine, a meal prep plan, set times, recovery times, and the better and the more structured your system is, the easier it is for you to follow through and actually see that goal through and actually achieve your goal. Now, I want you to ask yourself this one question. What is the one smallest non-negotiable thing that I can do to keep seeing some progress every single day? When you start seeing results, what happens is you start becoming obsessed. That's really all there is to say on this. So you want to give yourself these progress indications that are showing you that you're actually taking that step forward, you're actually moving forward. So an example of systems you can use in your daily life could be the following. So for fitness, let's say you work out at 6 a.m. every day for 4 days a week and pre-plan your meals every Sunday for the entire week. For learning a skill, as another example, this could be something like 90 minutes of deep practice. No matter what, every day I sit down for 90 minutes to practice the art. Get into the habit of taking notes. The key is you need to really dial down and be focused. And you want to make everything easy. You want to create systems for everything because this is how you end up on the top 1%. This is how the top 1% always succeed. And anything that could potentially disrupt your focus and cut you out of the flow is going to really ruin your progress. This is you anticipating friction as we already discussed. You need to mute notifications, turn off your phone, put your phone in the other room if that makes better sense to you, and just focus on the task that's in front of you. At the end of this, what you see is systems are actually about designing your environment. So that failure becomes harder than success. So that being distracted becomes harder than being focused. So that being inconsistent becomes harder than being consistent. And that is where everything starts to flow. So since you're watching till here, I can see that you are motivated, you're dedicated. I can see that you are committed, and I can see that you really care about your own growth. Now, all you're missing are these systems for consistency and accountability. So your next step is pretty simple. Put your head down and start grinding. Tomorrow's coming whether or not you want it. Now that's all for this video. Subscribe to the channel and I'll see you in the next one. You got this.